Well, is that the new spot that you're in?
Yeah, I'm not gonna speak on that publicly because I don't want anyone to know where I live.
Okay, well, I mean, you don't have to give out the fucking address. I can
Yes,
was just
you're right.
wondering.
That's true. You're right. No, yes, this is the new location in which I lay my head at night.
Okay, nice. How many people do you live with now?
It's seven. Yeah, so it's like a bunk bed
Are
situation.
you
So there's
fucking trolling?
no, there's eight people in the house. We each
Shut
have a
the
bunk
fuck up.
bed, four
What do you live in
bedroom.
San Francisco now?
Nah, just in Birmingham. It's just cheaper that way.
Yeah, that seems like a Birmingham rat thing to do, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. We're just like
That's
all in the
probably
sewers.
yeah, that's probably what most people do in Birmingham.
All right, that's enough out of you.
You know what pisses me the fuck off about
Oh
semi?
God.
Listen, this is specifically about semi truck drivers, so this rant is
Okay.
going to be a little more specific than people are used to, or exactly what people are used to. But semi truck drivers act like they're like these gods of the road.
Before you go on this, why are you saying semi instead of semi? It's a semi truck.
Semi truck,
No, semi truck. It would be a semi truck feels like once every other week or twice
yeah,
a
that's
week.
well, that's what I'm talking about. People that drive their truck every other week.
Okay, got you.
Okay, so the thing about semi truck drivers is they think that they're like these fucking road warriors that own the road and that people like have to do their bidding, but none of them know how to fucking drive. Like it drives me fucking crazy.
Isn't it weird that's their full time job and they still can't
And
figure
they
it
don't know
out?
how to do it. And they still don't know how to do
Yeah.
it.
Uh-uh.
Like I was in a turn lane today and this truck driver is on the right turn lane. I was in the like left turn lane. We're both turning left and he just starts coming into our turn lane, like just fucking blatant disregard for the small people behind him in his little truck rig. Like, just it's just dangerous, you know.
I don't know if we want to talk shit on semi truck drivers though, because the thing is, like, they spend a lot of time on the road and listening to podcasts. So there's probably a demographic there that we could really take advantage of.
That's true that we could tap into.
Yeah, so
I
no
think that
disrespect to all semi truck drivers, just disrespect to most of you semi truck drivers
yeah,
out there.
I think that they should start as someone in the aviation industry. I think we should start treating pilots like we treat semi drivers.
I don't
And
know, I'm
like
confused now.
we should let them have like there should be sex workers at the airport. You see how I said sex workers there because I'm super progressive. There
Yeah, I
should be
love that.
sex workers at the airport. They should be hopped up on like some weird blend of amphetamine Mountain Dew
Just
mixture as
whatever
they
they
fly.
want. Yeah, they should
Right,
be able
just
to take whatever
whatever
they
they
want.
want.
Yeah,
They should
I agree.
absolutely be able to do that.
Someone needs to pitch this to Southwest. This is how we can fix the
this
whole
is how we
company.
this is how we bring it back,
The
baby.
pilots are pissed. They're like, listen, guys, we get it. But what we're going to do now is we're going to establish lounges where you can snort methamphetamine and hook up with any sex worker of your choice.
Yeah, exactly. That's how they get the pilots of the union on board with
I
the company easily.
like
Okay,
that.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are your hosts, Blake and Trey. We are
Forget my name for a
missing.
second?
We are missing. No, it just felt weird to leave somebody out. We are missing a crucial part of our repertoire. Um, Christian has learned that eating ass is not a victimless crime, and he's very sick. It has caught up to him finally, so he is not here. So we are doing a duo episode. And for people just tuning into the podcast, because I've been leaving stickers all over the goddamn place, you may be confused because last week had 4 people and this week has 2. And now you're like, who hosts this podcast? Look, we're not here. We're not planners of podcasts. We don't plan stuff out. We're professional comedians. Okay.
We moved to the beat of
That's
jazz. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. That's our gig. We have other stuff to worry about. Come out and see me in Raleigh the next 2 weekends. I will be there Friday and Saturday. Tickets are running out. But we have other things we have to focus on. So if you're confused, just know that we are as well.
Yeah, I didn't know you were going to play in Raleigh. That's pretty exciting. Pretty
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
close to me.
I'm blowing up. It's about a 30-person club. Hoping to sell it out.
That'd be sick.
Okay, this
Seven
is
drink minimum.
this is totally biased music, and today we are doing an album that Trey and I both love that we're super excited about. Our first Eminem album. We are talking about Recovery. So brief Apple Music intro. Shady's new album was initially intended to be a Relapse sequel, RIP to that. But once the venomous verbalist started getting busy in the studio, he realized that this crop is an entirely new beast. Teamed up with a crew of heavy hitters, including Rihanna on a menacing love-hate ballad and Lil Wayne on a Just Blaze production sampling Hadaway, M knocks it out of the park, mixing razor-sharp metaphors with polished pop sensibility. So before we get into this, let's talk about how much we both love Relapse and how we should have done this on Relapse.
Okay, so before we even get started, is I didn't know this wasn't a Relapse sequel. Like I always just assumed that was kind of the situation. Relapse Recovery.
Well,
why is it a scrapped Why is there a scrapped sequel?
Because it was supposed to be Relapse 2. So it's still like I would still consider
it's just a title change.
Yeah, well, no, it's like Relapse 2 was going to be like the same vibe of Relapse, like the same type of songs and shit like that. And clearly going from Relapse to Recovery is like a jarring change. So I think
someone told Eminem he could get the bag if he kind of tweaked a few things.
Yeah, if he stopped talking about like stepfather incest rape, that he would. Yeah. So I think that's what it was. Like he initially said that he was going to make another Relapse 2, which eventually ended up being Relapse Refill. And then he just went in a completely different direction. So we were robbed of what could have been an amazing sequel, to be honest. Not to say Recovery isn't amazing, because it is, but man, Relapse 2 would have been great.
I'm not gonna lie, re-listening to this album, I had more issues with it than I remembered.
Really?
Yeah, there's some songs that have not aged well. Specifically like songs I know that I used to love, like No Love, for example. Like I listened back to No Love and I'm like, man, I just like it's more corny than I remember. And a lot of them are like that, but then some of them just have aged really well. Like Cold Wind Blows is fire.
Yeah.
And sorry, I'm probably getting ahead of myself here talking about top tracks and whatnot.
That's okay.
We can roll back the tape, but Won't Back Down. I actually ended up liking that song, whereas I remember like skipping past it all the time when we used to listen to it in high school.
Right.
But I guess let's talk about that. Like the first time we heard this record.
Yeah, I think that's a good segue to talk about because, like you said, obviously your opinion of it has changed over time. So the album came out in 2010. So where were you at, and what was your initial reception of the album when you listened to it?
As every good, middle class Eminem fan, I was just cruising the suburbs, baby, getting up to no good when this album came out. I think this is a summer, spring-ish album.
It
right?
was summer. It was summer.
Yeah. It came out that summer. I remember me, you, Reed. This was the summer we became friends, really.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yep. 2010 going into 2011. House party or whatever it was that happened. But me and Reed Bright used to listen to this album all the time. Like, I mean, it stayed in the deck of my. I don't want to talk about what car I was driving at the time. It's embarrassing.
Please don't. Actually,
but it stayed in the deck of that car. I mean, we would roll weed in like cigarellas, and we would sing Cinderella Man and like change the lyrics to Cigarella Man. Just nice. Regular high school creativity.
Yeah, that's
super creative. But man, me and Reed used to listen to this. I mean, thousands of times probably. This was like the soundtrack to the summer type situation.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, it was the same for me. Obviously, I was with you guys a shit ton, but it was such a great summer album, and it felt like a revitalization of Eminem, because obviously Encore is fucking Encore. We don't need to talk about that. We can pretend it doesn't exist. Relapse, I loved, and it was the first Eminem album that I really loved. It's still my favorite to this day, but Recovery was much more widely embraced and loved than Relapse was, obviously because of the themes that are on it, and Not Afraid kind of propelled that in that direction. So It felt like a huge chunk of our age group has that memory of that summer. Like we were driving up to the mountains over Christmas, and we were with some friends of ours, and I played Cinderella Man, and one of my friends in the back, her name is Crystal, she goes, yeah, I used to smoke spice to this song.
Exactly.
It's just like everybody, I feel like everybody in our age group has that, like, some memory associated with either White Trash Party or Cinderella Man or whatever it is, like some summer of them just raging when it came out and listening to it. And it definitely it shot him in a new a new direction. I did want to talk real quick before we kind of launch into it. So the album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 with first week sales being 741,000 copies. It reached number 1 in 16 other countries. It spawned 4 singles: Not Afraid, Love the Way You Lie, No Love, and Spacebound, with the former 2 both reaching number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Recovery was the best-selling album worldwide in 2010 and the best-selling album in the U.S. in 2010. The album received generally positive reviews by critics and was widely regarded as an improvement to Relapse. Since then, it has been certified 8 times platinum. It is
such a behemoth, dude.
It's fucking, and that's kind of what I want to talk about. One, just the album sales for that album in particular are fucking nuts. But yeah, he's just that. It's crazy how it doesn't matter what he releases. I mean, Revival is, everybody is determined that's a shitty album, and it's still, I'm pretty sure, 5 times platinum at this point. There's just
Is this his best-selling album outside of Marshall Mathers LP or Slim
it's
Shady
the third,
LP?
third best. So
Gotcha.
It goes Marshall Mathers LP, Eminem Show, and then Recovery, which is fucking insane to think about, actually. But yeah, let's get into it. What do you can start off with top tracks. I know you touched on it a little bit, but what are your favorite ones on it? Once giving it a re-listen, I'm sure it's changed since you first listened to it.
Giving it a re-listen. Let's do this in 2 parts, actually. So probably when I just because we listened to this so much back in the day. Oh God, we're too old or too young to say that. But I think back then my favorites were probably Going Through Changes, No Love, and Cigarella Man. I refuse to call it by anything else.
Okay.
But on a re-listen, it's definitely Cold Wind Blows. I think as far as like an album opener, that song is really, really good. Actually, Spacebound, I think, has held up really well. I think the hook sounds really cool and like could be made today, like by today's Eminem, and Almost Famous.
Really?
My top. Yeah. I fucking love that song. And I think a lot of it has to do just with like it's kind of frenetic in a way. And I think it fits in really well until the album hits that serious drop off moment of Love the Way You Lie, which we can all agree is just a dog shit song. And I don't think Rihanna's ever made a good song in her life except for Umbrella.
That's a hot fucking take, man. The community loves Riri. Everybody loves Riri, dude. That's not a hot take.
God, let me tell you, she is like the poorest man's Beyonce. She's terrible. There's nothing redeeming about Rihanna's music. I cannot, dude. I just don't even get me started.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some feedback from that one. So yeah, those would probably be my top 3.
That's fair. I do want to say Almost Famous. It's not a bottom or a top for me. I think the beat is super chaotic. It's recovered a lot by how hard he's fucking rapping in that song. Like, it's just bar for bar. I will say one of my favorite lines on the entire album is that song, "Dick's too short of a word for my dick. Get off my anti-disestablishmentarianism, you prick." I love that line.
Naturally,
so good.
That is very much a you line.
So yeah, I would say upon first listen, Won't Back Down was definitely my top 3. No Love, definitely my top 3, just because, I mean, it's 2 of my favorite rappers of all time on a track together. I also still love Drop the World, to be completely honest.
Oh God.
So that was definitely on there. The first round listening back in 2010, and then Spacebound was on there too, 100%. But
nice.
It's definitely changed. I agree with you on Cold Wind Blows. Opening line of the album, "You can get the dick, just call me the ball sack. I'm nuts, Michael Vick and this bitch dog fall back."
Like,
so good. So Cold Wind Blows is on there. Listen, I gotta throw White Trash Party on there. I cannot stop listening to this fucking song. When you floated the idea of doing Recovery, I went back and listened to it. I've listened to White Trash Party like 6 times since then. I fucking love that song. It is such a bop. So I gotta put White Trash Party on there. And then final song, man, this is really hard. Probably either Seduction or So Bad. I like both those songs. I'll say Seduction and give So Bad honorable mention.
I like So Bad a lot.
Yeah, it's I love the beat to it. It's just a very kind of like slow head bob beat, and he's really going in on it. So I enjoyed it a lot. Um, yeah, I don't understand why "Love the Way You Lie" was as popular as it was. It's a little crazy to me, but it may have just been
Because
because of
people
the
were just
age we were.
yes, and people. I mean, that was like the quintessential like hit of that time.
Yeah,
Like big old hook, super synthy. Have a rapper come in and do a couple verses. Like it was
yeah,
the road that Lil Wayne paved. You know what I mean?
very true.
And
It
that's
was
kind of what was going on.
it was a very cut and dry formula. It
Exactly.
was like hook, verse, hook, verse, hook, and that was it. That was the
And
song.
they're like, all right, cool. Tight
Yeah.
3 minutes. On to the next one,
They're
baby.
like, go ahead and make a video for that. Let's sell 5 million copies of it. Here we go. So yeah, that's mine. Bottom three. This is I want to let's do the same thing. What your initial bottom three was and what it is now.
Okay. You go first or me going first here?
No, you got it.
All right. So bottom three now is definitely Love the Way You Lie. Um, honestly, dude, you're gonna hate this, but like White Trash Party, I think that song's
Oh
so cool. I'm sorry.
no,
I'm
dude.
sorry. It's like, I don't know. It just sounds like something that I would hear at like a redneck, like Alabama
That's
throwdown
exactly what it
where people
is.
are
That's
drinking nothing
exactly
but
what
Bud
it is.
Light.
It would be awesome. They would be having the
Uh,
best fucking time.
and probably we got to talk about Not Afraid on its own, I feel like,
Yeah, definitely.
but probably Not Afraid. Um, but just like it's such a weird song because some things I absolutely cannot stand about it, and then some things I'm like, hey, this is the Lose Yourself of 2010, right? But it's not that good.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like a it's not a clean I don't want to say clean version because he still uses the F word, but it's like a dialed down PG-13 version of like Till I Collapse. Like
Right,
that's how I view that
exactly.
song. It's like it is good and like there are some times where it kind of pumps me up, but there are some times where it like comes on in the gym and I'm like, not right now. Like it literally anything but this.
And I think that's a big problem too. Is like it's just been overplayed to hell and back,
Yeah.
which isn't that the song's fault.
No, and it was
Um,
like it was the single for the album. Like that was the single that they used for promo.
with the
So that
music
was
video, remember
yep.
him like in the all gray and like standing looking down from a building.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so like 2010 redemption story. It
Yeah,
was like
what's
they
the
had just
line
rocked
about tearing down your balcony? What is that
all those
line?
who look down on me, I'm tearing
I'm
down your
tearing down your
balcony.
balcony. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like that was they heard that line. They're like, yeah, that's the music video. Let's run it.
Yeah,
Let's have them
exactly.
in a warehouse and then let's have them on a balcony and yeah.
It was very much it was like they just got done watching Rocky 4.
Hmm.
And they were like, yeah, let's do that, but as a song. And then he made that, which I don't want to shit on too much because I think to him it probably means a lot. Like he was fresh into sobriety and shit like that, and you could definitely hear that in the song. But yeah, man, like you said, it just got played to fucking death, and it got old really fast.
And that's something I want to talk about. I guess probably let's do your three songs, and I have a point to make about the sobriety thing.
Okay,
Because I can't think of what I disliked when it came out, other than "Love the Way You Lie."
okay,
Like that's not as much because I remember like just running this front to back all the time.
okay.
Um,
Yeah,
so
no, that's
yeah,
fair.
probably back then that was probably the only song I would have hit skip with because that song's always been terrible.
Okay, so bottom three. I think bottom three upon initial listen was probably Untitled, um, Cold Wind Blows, and then Seduction. And now I'd have to say I still don't like Untitled that much. And I don't know if he just threw it in because he didn't want to end with You're Never Over, but it still doesn't really fit to me. I have a friend that loves it, but I don't know. It just doesn't really click for me. Um, 25 to Life is now on my bottom three because, like, look, man, this concept at this point, it may not have been done very often, but at this point, upon the release or like listening to it now, the whole I'm gonna write a song to make you think it's a love song, but actually it's about the genre of hip hop music. I feel like this has been done like 6 times. Like,
Right.
it's like, and people may have just ripped it off from Eminem. I don't really recall songs like this before, but like
See, I feel
now,
like I remember listening to this and at the end being like, "Oh my god, it was about rap music." Actually, I want to go back and put this in one of my top 3 from high school for sure
yes,
because
that's
that is
absolutely
definitely
what we
what happened.
did.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's definitely on there for me now. And then, man, this hurts to say because it is a really powerful song and it's beautiful in a lot of ways, but going through changes, it's just really sad. It's like I listened to it the other day and it ruined my fucking day. Like it straight up ruined my day. The whole song is so sad. Like the part where he's talking about sitting at home, taking pills and watching like his old tours just so he could see proof is like the saddest shit ever, and I don't want to listen to it because it ruins my fucking day. So
He
that
does
is,
get deep in the proof like thing that entire song. That's like the
yeah,
whole
yeah. So yeah, those are my bottom 3 now. So it is definitely shifted for sure. Okay, so what did you want to backtrack to? Oh, the sobriety thing.
Yeah, was Eminem the first like rapper to make sobriety cool? Or like to be like I'm sober now and that's a really cool thing for me and it's like you know what I mean?
I want to say yes, but it might just be because of how big he is. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
he really brought it to like the forefront of and obviously hip hop is not a fucking era where people talk about that and do that. Um so yeah, maybe. I don't know. And I think for him, like it kind of helped him because he almost died, like he was
Mhm.
very close to death and he was such a superstar that I think people kind of were happy that he didn't, that he came out of it and didn't pass. Um So yeah, I mean, I think if to answer your question, yeah, he was probably the first guy to be like, yeah, this is a cool thing now.
Cuz I was thinking about it like when I was re-listening and I was just thinking about how like I don't know if as a genre hip hop had been talking about like, the depths of drug addiction and whatnot long enough for it to come full circle into like the sobriety side of things.
Yeah, I mean
You know?
that's a good point because it is very much like the genre is very drug intensive, and I don't I know rappers have written songs about like their struggles with addiction. So I mean, Kid Cudi is kind of a perfect example of that, but not in the way that Eminem did, and he's also really embraced it. And he's still, I think he's well, let's see, the overdose was in 2008, so 15 years, coming up on 15 years sober.
That's
Um,
wild.
yeah, it's crazy, and and good for him, and I think that it is like there's a clear change in his music from his sobriety and before his sobriety. Like, not to say he's still not the same Eminem, like still raps about, killing people and hating women and shit like that, which he still does, but like now I almost feel like I still really like his new music because I think he's come into just a different ability than he had before. He kind of embraces new styles and articulates his words better, and I obviously love fast rapping and shit. And so I think he's still successful. Just his sound has a huge change after really the Marshall Mathers LP too, but from the sobriety on. But I think it played into his benefit for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think he would have died if he wouldn't have stopped. So definitely
Yeah.
played into his benefit.
True. I do want to talk about hang on one second. You're gonna have to fill some dead air while I look for something real quick.
Okay, well, I was kind of curious if you could hear my dog snoring.
I
So,
cannot
oh, well,
actually.
that's good. Yeah, because he snores pretty bad. We sync up sometimes in the middle of the night, like our snoring, like we do like a melody harmony thing. It's super fucking cute.
Nice. I like that. How
No,
big is he? How
thanks.
much does he weigh now?
It's like 130 pounds, maybe 140. He's a big boy.
130 fucking pounds?
Yeah, dog. He's massive. He's huge.
Jesus.
Uh
Okay.
huh.
I wanted to make sure this was on Won't Back Down. So he does this a lot in this album, but he does these kind of like double entendre. I don't know if that's the proper term for what I'm about to explain because I'm a fucking moron. But
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
um metaphors, I guess. Because he says in Won't Back Down, one of my favorite lines is, these other cats ain't metaphorically where I'm at, man. I gave Bruce Wayne a Valium and said, settle your fucking ass down. I'm ready for combat, man. Get it, combat, man. I fucking love that line. And on the same song, he
that's
says,
a double entendre. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, double entendre. And then in the same song, he says, fuck a steak slut. I'll cut my toes off and step on the receipt before I foot the bill. That's also a great fucking line. But he does stuff like that. He does a ton on Won't Back Down. But he does it throughout the album. And I don't know, that to me was kind of a new thing for him. Then like you don't hear it as much on his pre-Relapse albums as you do now. He does it a shit ton now, but he kind of started to warm up to that in Recovery. So I really enjoyed it.
I would love to know his like writing process. I'm sure there's 1,000 interviews where he describes it, but like that's just kind of just a other world of poetry. You know what I mean? That could be brought by. I'm reading this Jay-Z book right now, and it's just talking about like Jay-Z as a poet, and like this college professor that's like teaches classes on Jay-Z. It's sick.
That's actually super sick.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'll send you a picture of it so you can pick it up because I'm not going to mail it to you because I hate going to the post office.
That's very fair.
You really hate the post office.
Don't even get me started. Don't even get me fucking started.
Oh man, God. Can I see your phone? Hold on, really quick. Can I see your phone? I just want to see that it exists.
So the back,
the red boy.
Yeah,
nice. YouTube would be proud of you.
Yeah,
the front.
Yeah, very nice, huh?
Let's go.
I know. Nice. I'm very excited. So we'll see how Xfinity Mobile works out because I think they use Verizon's towers, but I switched because it's cheaper. So we'll see. It's got. Nice. I mean, anything's got to be better than T-Mobile, right?
Wait, like, you're not on your family plan anymore?
No, it's me and Carly.
Oh, so you don't get text from your dad where it's like, "Why'd you use all the data or whatever?"
Use all the data. No, but you know, it's funny. I was thinking about that the other day because I feel like this shift to unlimited data happened like probably when I was in college. So like my freshman year of college. But yeah, I forgot that there was a whole world where like I had to monitor how much I was on like Twitter and shit because I was using all the fucking data. I'm so glad that era is over.
I remember counting. You had to go back and check your text messages by like sending like #674 to see how many texts you sent in the month, and it sends you the message and be like, "You sent 5,000 text messages." I'm like, "Shit."
You're like, "Fuck! I was only supposed to send 1,000."
Yeah.
But back to what you're saying.
Now they're like, use as much data as you possibly can. We want.
Yeah, literally. I'm like, I'm paying for it. I might as well.
Yep. Anyway.
Yeah, you were saying just like his writing process. I don't know. I'm sure I think a lot of it is him just literally jotting shit down when he thinks about it and then trying to build on that. Like, even if it's just, 4 lines or whatever, trying to use it to create a verse off of that or a concept that he can build into a verse or a song. He talked a little bit about it on the 60 Minutes with Anderson Cooper. He did as Recovery was coming out. They did like a big press push for this album. Unlike they did for Relapse, probably because they were like, people are not gonna be okay with these songs. Some dark
maybe
themes.
Chill out about all of what you've been talking about.
Are kind of hard to market. So, but yeah, the 60 Minutes interview is really cool. He was getting ready to do a Detroit show with Jay-Z at their baseball stadium. I think they did like 2 nights together where I believe Jay-Z opened up for Eminem. But Anderson
went
Cooper
to the Yankee Stadium, and then Eminem opened up for Jay-Z. Yeah.
And Anderson Cooper asked him at one point, like, do you see the faces now? Like, or like, do you see the faces in the front of the crowd? And Eminem's like, yeah, now I do. He's like, before it was just a big blur. So that's got to be.
I bet Eminem shows in the early 2000s were just awesome.
I cannot even imagine. I can't imagine now. There's this picture of him, I think at Glastonbury or somewhere in Europe, and it's a picture from behind the stage, and there's just a fucking sea of people in front of him that's like as far as the eye can see. I cannot imagine being an artist or a comedian or whatever the fuck it is. People like Eminem
doing a live podcast.
Doing a live podcast. But people with that caliber, like Metallica, Eminem, like walking out and seeing literally 60,000 people, I feel like I would shit myself immediately on the spot, but I don't know.
Yeah, I would go back home. I'd be like, I'm good. That was not fun.
I missed my bed on my dog. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so reviews, Metacritic, this isn't like a review, but Metacritic gave it a 63, but the user score is an 8.3, which we kind of talked about earlier. It was like accepted pretty widely upon release that fans really loved it. Um, Rolling Stone gave it a 4 out of 5.
The Rolling
And
Stone.
yep, opening paragraph is, what is an Eminem album in the post Eminem era? It's a problem the rapper has been grappling with for some time. For a few years, for the release of his major label debut, the Slim Shady LP, through the big screen triumph of 8 Mile in 2002, M's stranglehold on the zeitgeist was complete. He wasn't just music's biggest star, he was a cultural obsession, the bane of middle America parents, and, and an equal opportunity offender across the political spectrum, whose every new song seemed to raise pressing questions about art, morality, race, class, and celebrity. Which I think is a great opening paragraph from them. A rare hit from Rolling Stone, I will say. The rest of the review is good, and they do mention White Trash Party. Shout out to White Trash Party.
Nice.
And then I'm not even going to read into this. Let's just leave it at this. Pitchfork gave it a 2.8 out of 10.
When it came out or now?
Yes, when it came out. This review was written on June 18th, 2010.
I'm sure they just rail against it being like offensive because Pitchfork. You know what sucks is the world has become Pitchfork, right?
Is that what they do?
Is that what's yeah? Oh yeah. Pitchfork's about that. Pitchfork's like woke before woke was woke.
Oh my god, that explains why I fucking hate him so much.
Yeah. Pitchfork's like, we're going to complain about things that aren't actually an issue, and then
Yeah.
ignore all the things that are actually an issue that could
They're
better
like,
the things that we think are issues.
and then every fucking person on Twitter just looked at that formula and they're like, that's my Twitter now.
Like that's
what
it.
I'm going to
That's
make
what
my
Twitter is
Twitter.
now. That's what all we're going to do on Twitter.
Very cool. Okay, so what do you rank it out of 10? Hit us with it.
Out of 10, I would say that this is the last great Eminem album. Um,
Okay.
I think he's done some okay work since then. I don't like him as much as you do, or I don't
That's
like the new
fair.
stuff as much as you do.
Yeah.
So I would give this a solid 7.5 out of 10.
I like that. And it's kind of what I expected from you. You have said to me before, it is the last great Eminem album. And I think honestly, like, that's a common belief. I think there are some people that will branch out to the Marshall Mathers LP too, but a lot of people, they know Recovery is great. I mean, look, listen to Machine Gun Kelly's diss against Eminem, which is really him just dick riding him the whole time. He talks about how great Recovery is, So I think that is a common conception.
Yeah, I don't know who you're talking about. I pretend that person doesn't exist. I pretend like I didn't scream lace up in the hallways.
It's okay, brother. I was right there with you. Not alone.
I know. God, that song that he had about his uncle dying of heroin or whatever, like that song was awesome. What was the name of that song?
It was Lead You On.
Yes, God, I love that track.
Yeah,
it's a good song.
It's a good song, and they're actually, I mean, like the first few tracks, the two opening tracks on on Lace Up the Mixtape are really fucking good. And you know what? Listen, I'm gonna fucking say it. I don't want to say it. I don't want this publicly on the record, but you know what? I'm secure enough in my music taste that I will say Lace Up the album is a good fucking album. All right. I don't care that he's a knockoff Blink-182 now. Listen, we can move on from that and accept that Lace Up was a good album. All right.
Dude, I mean, calling him knockoff Blink-182 is so generous. Like, it's terrible.
It's really fucking bad.
And people fucking love it. He's going on an arena tour. He's coming to BJCC.
I don't understand. Like,
I think Avril Lavigne's opening for him.
Holy.
Hold on, Jamie. Let me look that up.
I don't understand what happened. What was this? It's like he stopped being what
Eminem happened. Eminem shredded him after he tried to diss him that one time.
It's true. But I think what really happened was he became the acceptable bad boy, which America loves.
Like, we do love that.
They don't like when you're
Fallout Boy.
Right. They don't like when you're too much of a bad boy to where you like are causing riots and shit and like smashing bottles during your shows. But like if you pretend to be a bad boy for the magazines, but really you're like a goody goody, America loves that, dude. That's the American superstar right there.
Did you say goody goody? I love
Goody
that.
goody, yeah.
Goody goody. Okay, so that show happened this summer. So yeah, no, but that was a thing.
Interesting. I would love to
Yeah,
see Avril Lavigne.
I would see Avril Lavigne all day.
That should be tight.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Um.
So
Okay, so
what do you rank it at?
I will say, apart from Kamikaze, which I love, I think that this, I'm in agreement with you, over the last albums that he has released, Recovery, I still think is the pinnacle of kind of the perfect blend of old Eminem and new Eminem. Um, so honestly, man, I got to give it a 9. I really enjoyed listening to it. I really enjoyed re-listening to it, and like it still really rides to me, and it reminds me of a time when I first heard it and listened to it. So there's probably a little bias there. It's probably totally biased, I'll be honest, but
Totally biased. Nice. Well done.
trademarked. But I do really like it. So yeah, I'll give it a 9. Which I
So
think is
where
fair.
would you rank this in overall Eminem albums?
Oh fuck, that's so hard.
Because
I mean,
that's always my critique against Eminem is that he doesn't have like an album that is like in the like top 10 of hip hop history.
you don't think the Marshall Mathers LP is?
I don't. I don't. I
Well,
mean, I think
that's
it's up
really
there.
strange to me,
Yeah,
man.
I know.
In the
But
top 10? I get
I
not
don't.
top 5, but like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. Too many skits. We're anti-skit in this house. There's a lot going on there.
It's hard for me, right? Because like my favorite albums and what albums I think are the best are very different, which we have talked about
Sure.
multiple times. But my favorite albums, I think top 3 would be Relapse, and then the Marshall Mathers LP, and then probably the Eminem Show. But what I think are his best albums, I think his best albums and one of the best hip hop albums of all time is the Eminem Show for sure. And then Marshall Mathers LP is right behind it. I mean, both of them are diamond now, over 10 million copies sold. People continue to stream and listen to those albums, every fucking day. So those are the top 2. And then, yeah, I don't know. I mean, probably Slim Shady LP is 3rd, and then Recovery is 4th, I would say. And
Gotcha.
then Relapse 5, and I don't know, the rest after that, it kind of all blends together. I do really like Kamikaze, and Kamikaze's grown on me since its release. So I think I would put that up there as well. But yeah, I mean, to me, he's a lot like Jay-Z in the sense that Jay-Z has like 2 what I would call bad albums. Eminem has like two bad albums to me, and the rest are pretty close to interchangeable with how good they are and how much I enjoy them. So I don't know, if I had more time, if I knew you were going to bombard me with such a heavy question, I would have thought about it more.
Should have thought this was coming. I've never listened to Music to Be Murdered by.
That was the name. I feel like you debated whether that was the name of it or not.
Or Revival. That was the other one that I don't think I ever listened to.
Yeah,
I don't think I ever listened to either one of those. I think the only reason I listened to Kamikaze because you were like, "This is good. You should listen to it."
yeah. Like when I say 2 bad albums, I would say the Encore and Revival. But like
Gotcha.
there are gems on Encore and there are gems on Revival. But like having 3 good songs in a 15 track album is not anything to brag about. So
No.
but yeah, that's every bad album. You can pick good parts of it. So, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend listening to Revival, but Kamikaze and Music to Be Murdered By, I could probably just send you probably 5 songs I think you would like, so you don't have to sit through the whole album, and you might be able to get with them.
I'd probably get with them.
Okay, before we go to Rides or Dies, I have to talk to you about this. This is very important, and this is a pop culture thing, so it fits the podcast.
I hope I remember or I know about it.
I watched all 3 John Wicks recently.
I was just talking about John Wick. That's so fucking weird. Like literally right before we hopped on.
So, have you seen all of them?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, so I watched all 3 of them.
This is the first time you've seen them?
The first time I've seen them.
Okay.
What the fuck are these movies, man?
They're fucking amazing.
They're not. They're so bad.
They're the best action movies I've ever seen in my life.
Let me say this. Keanu Reeves, I hate to say this because I know he's a really great guy. I do understand that. He is a horrible actor.
That's not true.
He delivers every line like it's the last line of the movie. Have you
Yeah,
noticed that? Go back and
the
listen.
It's the
That's
Keanu-sance. It's better
like
than the
it,
Matthew McConaughey. It's the Keanu-sance, baby. Get
like
on
when
board.
he's like one of the first lines of the movie is like when the Russian gangster is like, "Oh, I want your car," blah blah blah, and he's like, "It's not for sale." Like that would
It
have been
wasn't for sale.
that would have been like had he gone on the rampage and then ended the movie with "It's not for sale." That would have been perfect. But it's like the first line of the movie. Like he delivers every line like that. Like there's one in number 2 where he's like, "It's Wick. I'd like to speak to the manager." And it seems like something that he delivers every line like that. It's painful, dude. It's
Dude, he's
fucking
just an assassin. He's not like, what are you talking about? And the emotion
it's
he shows towards these dogs throughout the movies, like
he okay.
you're dead wrong.
This is another gripe. He doesn't really even show emotion towards either one of the dogs throughout
He
all
does
3 of the
though in
movies.
his own tough guy way. See, I wish you would have told me more about this because now I feel kind of bombarded with this topic because I could have done a lot more. Because I was just, well, here's what happened. Me and my roommates are sitting here looking for something to watch, and I'm like, let's go to HBO. So we pop into HBO, and I'm like, we could watch John Wick, or we could just keep watching The Sopranos because we just kind of perpetually watch The Sopranos.
Yeah,
And then one of my roommates doesn't like John Wick, and so then we were just having this exact same conversation.
it's just
But
like, and here's the thing: in the third movie, the dog is nowhere to be found. He drops the dog off at the beginning and picks him up at the end. So don't tell me he has some attachment with this dog because he kind of does it in the second one too. And
yeah, because he's not trying to let the dog be in danger, bro. There's all kinds of danger amok.
what really what really pisses me off is that the first movie is about this guy's fucking car and his dog and how like the entire rampage is mostly about getting his car back, but also yeah, he was sad about the dog. Okay, look, I get
Which
that.
the dog is a metaphor for his wife.
I'm sympathetic. Listen, I understand that.
You
I'm
do know that,
sympathetic.
right? You understand that the dog is kind of stand-in for his wife that he's lost a terrible murder?
Reason I know that is because they have to spell it out for you in the fucking movie. He literally says that. That's a line in the movie. He's basically like, that wife represents my, or that dog represents my wife.
What do you mean?
That's literally a line in the movie.
He got the dog with the wife I think the day that the wife dies or a couple days after or some shit.
Okay, but it's like it's pandering to the point where like you think I'm so stupid I don't understand the dog represents the wife. Like you have to say that
we're
in the
talking
movie.
we're talking about all the wrong things with these movies because the plot doesn't matter. What matters is the insane action scenes that are fucking awesome. And
I will give you the
amount of people that he kills in each movie. There's a John Wick kill counter. Hold on, let me find it right now. John Wick kill count. And there's like there's a graphic that shows exactly how he kills each person. It's so cool.
Okay, first off, whoever made that, go outside. Second off, I will give
we need these people to do these type of things so we don't have to do them ourselves. Stay inside.
I will give these people the credit. The action scenes are good. I will give them that.
That's the whole point of the movie. Like it's not about the acting or delivering lines or what the dog does or does not represent. That's very clearly spelled out for you. It's about Keanu Reeves shooting people in the head like from crazy distances. Or that one scene in John Wick 2 where he kills like people with like 80 different things in like the little museum. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like that's awesome. It's just a balls to the wall action flick. And if you don't like that, you're not going to like it.
That part is entertaining, but I can't get past Keanu Reeves acting. Okay, and I also can't get past the line where he's like, "People keep asking me if I'm back. You know what? I'm thinking I'm back." It's just he delivers every line like Batman, and it drives me crazy.
Keanu Reeves would be great. He would be a really good Batman. Actually,
he would be a good Batman. Actually, okay. And last gripe, and then we can move on. And then the last line of the Batman movie: "I'm here to see the manager."
It's not for sale. Talking about the Batmobile.
There's a scene where after a whole movie he goes on a rampage and kills like 300 people for his fucking car. The Russian gangster in the start of the second movie is like, we have to sell this car because this guy just killed my brother and his son and a bunch of other people. Like, dude, give him back the car. Like
it's not all about the car though, because at that point they've gone too far. They've blown up his house. Like
no, that part happens after this. I'm saying the Russian gangster just needs to give him the car back. Like, I can't imagine a Russian gangster is that strapped for cash. Is he?
Yeah, but I think that's the whole. Like, I think they're like trying to bring him into the whole thing. like they're trying to bring him back. It's like a whole other plot that I can't remember at this moment.
I'm
'Cause I haven't
back.
seen the movie in a while, but
It's not
I would have
for
prepped for
sale.
this.
Okay, well, listen,
Anyway,
my
that's
totally
recovery.
biased review. My totally biased review is fuck that fucking series. All right.
We should
I
go
hope you
ahead.
guys enjoy.
We need to do we need to do movies next.
Some guy tries to skip through the Keanu Reeves part, and he skips for 50 minutes. He's like, "They're still on this." Oh, yeah, we should do. I've said we should do Denis, however the fuck you say his last name. Yeah. Denis Villeneuve's movie, or not just the movie. His whole discography. I'd love to talk about that. I don't know if we can get Christian to sit down to watch that many movies because I don't think he's seen like any of them.
He's seen Dune. He's seen Prisoners. I'm sure he hasn't seen Incendies or Incendi. I don't know how to pronounce that one.
What?
Hold on, I got you.
It's called Arrival, Trey. It's just say it like it sounds. Just say it like it sounds.
You probably haven't seen this either. It's the whole thing is not in English. It's really good though.
Is it in French?
I think it's in French. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's tight though. It's really good. You should watch it.
Yeah, I definitely get down with that.
Yeah, you have to read the subtitles though, and you don't really know how to read too well. So
yeah, true. I do struggle with that.
Maybe Shania can just like read it out loud to you.
Yeah, that would be nice, actually.
Yeah.
Would you rather lose your hearing or your eyesight? I think about this a lot, and the reason I thought about it was because of the subtitles thing. Like, if you're deaf, you could still watch movies.
I think that if I couldn't listen to music, I would lose my mind.
Yeah, that's my big thing too.
That's my big thing too. I think I could go without seeing shit. Like, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But then
but missing movies and TV would suck, man.
Yeah, and also just generally like getting around. Like, I mean, being deaf would be difficult, but like being blind would be a whole different thing.
Yeah, and you can drive when you're deaf, right?
Yeah, you can drive when you're deaf.
Yeah, so you can't drive when you're blind. See, you can't do that. They won't let you do that. Can't. So, okay. All right, so that was recovery. We are now going to go to a shorter rides or dies because there's only two of us. So Trey, you want to introduce your song for us?
Yeah. So I made you did get my switch up, right?
Yeah, I did. I don't like that you sent that 3 minutes before we were supposed to record, but yeah,
I knew. I was expecting a comment and didn't get one, so I was kind of curious if you cared at all. So my rides or dies is Emancipator and Nine Theory. They put out like an EP a few years ago, and this song is called Tangerine Sour. As you might suspect, it is kind of like a intentional stoner type weed smoking song. It's an instrumental though. Blake, what'd you think about Tangerine Sour? Tangerine Sour is a strain of marijuana for those that might not know.
Little stoner factoid for you guys. Wow, I really struggled.
Also, the name of a delicious Altoid flavor. So.
Holy fuck! How old are you? All right. I thought it was really good. Actually, I'm warming up to Emancipator. I'm very much warming up to Emancipator. I did listen to it on my phone with no headphones because, like I said, you said it 30 seconds before I was joining the studio. But I did enjoy it. I like it. It was a vibe. It was very much like you said. It is very much a weed smoking song, or like a put it on the Alexa and do dishes song. You know,
right? It's pretty versatile. I would say. Yeah, I'm glad you're warming up to Emancipator. Really, really, really talented artist.
I'm definitely behind on that train for sure, which I accept. Yep. Yeah. So I give it a rides.
Cool.
My song was. My song was Special Affair by The Internet. This song is, look, let's be honest, it's a sex song. Was I trying to send Trey a message? I don't really know. That's the conversation I'm going to have with myself at some point. But I will say it is a very sexy song. It's very vibey. Yeah, I like it. What did you think, Trey?
I kind of felt that, and I was like, well, maybe because like it's just the two of us. Like he kind of wants this to be like a special affair.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Nailed it.
Yeah, exactly. So I felt the energy there. I would say it absolutely rides. It was fantastic. I loved it.
Very nice.
I love the internet. They used to back up Mac Miller, right? Do they even make
Yeah.
music anymore by themselves?
I don't know. I want to say something happened to them, like something happened to their group. I don't know exactly what that entails. I think there was like one of them. I could be thinking of a totally different group. Maybe I'm thinking of Brockhampton. I thought some drama
Yeah,
happened.
Brockhampton broke up. I know that for sure.
Okay, then maybe I'm thinking of them. I thought something happened to one of their members, but yeah, they did that live, like that YouTube video. There's a couple of YouTube videos of Mac playing songs off of watching movies with the internet. Um, yeah, so very cool, very very nice. All
Yep.
right, that was an abbreviated rides or dies. I will drop the tracks below. And now, man, Trey, I hope you brought it today because it's tough with two of us, so you got to really deliver here, ladies and gentlemen. It is about that time.
Welcome to the Twosome Trey's terrible Twitter takes. These are going to be.
These are going to be what?
I got two hot ones for you. They're not great this time around. I'll be honest with you. It's just weird. It's weird presenting it to one person. You know what I mean? And like, I feel like because I kind of fucked y'all over when it was just y'all two, it's not really best for me to bring my A game when it's just you and I.
Yeah, that would be unfair to Christian, but also I don't really care. So you should have thought about how I don't care, but that's okay. I have faith.
These two that I have are pretty solid. Okay. So the first one is, who called it getting nutted in and not getting a load of this guy? Okay. That's from @FuckedUpPizzas, aka Personal Panic Pizza.
I like that one. That's a good one.
Getting a load of this guy.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This is from Zach Silberg. One of the rare situations where his Twitter handle and his name are exactly the same. So
nice,
Zach. And it is a picture of what's the character from The Matrix? Black guy, bald.
Morpheus.
Morpheus, thank you. And it's a caption. It says, "What if I told you that the only reason I'm bald is that I'm afraid of a Ratatouille situation? What if I told you that I'd have so much hair if not for the fear of a rat using me like a puppet? These are modes of control, Neo. This is how they manipulate us. Ratatouilles, Neo."
Okay, that one is really good. It also reminds me, I don't know if do you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yes, I do.
Have you seen that one where the Halloween girl, like on Halloween, those girls come to his door for trick-or-treating and he won't give them candy, and they roll his house?
No, I haven't seen that one.
So they roll his house and they spray paint bald asshole on his door. And he's telling the cop, "You can't say that. That's a hate crime. We consider ourselves a group." And one of the cops is bald, and he goes, "Sir, all due respect, like, I'm bald. I don't find offensive." And he goes, "No, officer, you're not bald. Okay, with all due respect, you have shaved your head to look like us, and we don't really consider you part of the bald community." It's really fucking good.
I need to watch more of that show. Yeah. Every time I ever hear about it, I just think that.
Okay, what else you got?
Okay, here we go. I've not said this one before, right? All right, so this is from @BigHern, aka Steve Hernandez, and this it's a screenshot of a text, and the quote is, "This is what I get for having comedians speak at my wedding," and the text says, "Hey, to your knowledge, are any of your wedding guests survivors or lost someone in 9/11?"
That's gonna be me, dude.
I've given a couple wedding speeches. Not all of them have gone super great. And let me tell you, there's nothing worse than realizing that you're bombing a wedding speech.
What happened?
I just went too long, I made too many off the cuff jokes. Like I had it written. I had my outline written. This is what really happened. I just come off doing my first ever like comedy thing, and it went. And you were
really
like,
"I'm going to use this as that."
Yeah. I was like, this is the same thing. I have a microphone, and there's an audience of people, and I will make jokes, and they will laugh, and they will pat me on the back afterwards. And
it did not go that way.
That is not what happened. No. I did get a pat on the back, but it was from the groom saying, "All right, that's enough."
Yeah.
So
that's the best.
Yeah, it was great. So yeah. All right, and then did I have one more?
I got some if you need me to.
Yeah, go ahead and fill one in. Let me see if I can find this other one.
Okay, so this is from Korn. His name is Uplist on Twitter. He is hilarious. He is very big in the Black Twitter community, which I'm very in touch with because I'm on Twitter all the time. So I'm in touch with all
Okay.
races of Twitter. I will say
All
I'm
right.
not singling out one race. I'm saying I'm in touch with all races on Twitter. I have a couple. This one is still don't know why Future said this to his own son, bruh. And it's apparently a screenshot of Future's son's text message. And Future says, "Tell your mom." And his son says, "Tell my mom what?" And he says, "Buy you some clothes." And then his son responded, "Dad." And then a day later, Future responded, your mother is a hoe.
Are Future and this child's mother together?
I don't think so. The fact that he waited a day to say it is the best part. Okay, here's another one.
Oh god.
So he has quote tweeted a news article thing that says, "Starting today in Tennessee, a person will be required to pay child support if they kill a parent while drunk driving." And he quote tweeted and said, "You crash into Nick Cannon or NBA Youngboy, you better hope you die with them."
Yo, if you crash into Nick Cannon, you just need to just keep driving. Just hope you don't get caught. Because like you're never gonna have another dollar for the rest of your life.
No chance.
How does Nick Cannon make enough money to support all those people?
I've actually thought about this a lot, like probably more than I should have, because like it has nothing to do with me.
Because it's not just the kids. Like I mean, there's a lot of women too.
No, man, I don't know either because like he doesn't really do anything. Like I think he hosts like a Fox music show or something, and that cannot be giving him that much money.
Do you think the Wild and Out royalties? Like I'm not. No, this isn't even a joke. Like they play it nonstop on MTV. He's got to be making.
Yeah,
like MTV's got to be writing him a huge check every month.
That's got to be part of it. And most states, I believe, some fucking lawyer is going to text me and be like, "That's actually not how it works." But I believe that child support can only be a percentage of your income. So like it can only equal up to a certain percentage. Whereas in Colorado, that's not the case. Colorado, they pick a number amount and they're like, you have to pay this. Like they don't give a shit if you go broke or not. Like you have to pay it. Whereas other states, I believe it's percentages.
Why do you have this much information about this specific subject?
It's a long story. I'll have to tell you when we're not on air because it involves people that do not want their.
Sure, yeah. Okay, cool. But that's I knew this wasn't just like data
just
that you had the file
in the fucking pocket. Like, I've been calculating out since I was 16 if I ever had to pay child support if I could handle it.
Like I'm good in Nevada, but Colorado, no, it can't happen there.
I carry a list in my wallet.
He's like, "Blake, I'm pregnant." You're like, "Word, I'm moving to Mississippi."
I'll see you there. Holy fuck. Okay, that's all I got. You got anything else? Or
okay, yeah, I got a last one. All right, and this was on Christmas Eve this year. And the caption it's from @fairly_cunty, which respect. It's spelled FAIRLECUNTY, so like fair,
right,
cunty,
right.
So it's a damn B-Day boy drunk already, and it's a picture of two people carrying like a Jesus like crucifix like through a hallway.
Holy fuck! Was it you that read the tweet to me about Jesus dying for sins or whatever?
I don't think so.
Somebody, I wish I could remember who brought this up. Somebody showed me a tweet that was like, everybody keeps talking about how Jesus died for our sins. Like, bro, he only died for 3 days. It's not even that big of a deal. Oh, man. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we successfully, yet again, third two-person episode, and we filled an hour. We fucking kill this shit, dude. Honestly,
man, you've earned some PTO at some point. You've done 3 of these just duo sets.
Yeah, I'm afraid if I leave that the world of Totally Biased Music will implode.
Because you guys, Christian could make it through one, but it wouldn't be great.
You guys could make it through and it would be really good, but like then that involves like showing you guys how to work the studio and giving you passwords.
I've been asked
and all
to do that anyway. You just refuse to because you're a control freak.
It's just really like it's too much, bro. It's too much.
It's not.
It's a lot. So But if there ever comes a time where we need to do that, then you know what? I will trust you with the passwords, Trey. Not
All
Christian.
right,
Absolutely not Christian.
definitely not Christian. Who knows what he'll subscribe us to?
Exactly. All right. Well, if you guys, Anthony's album. What album are we doing?
Yes. Okay, so next week for all our listeners, we are going to be reviewing an album by Listen called One Piece Puzzle. You can only find it on SoundCloud and on YouTube, and we will post links to both. If you're one of those that like to listen ahead of time, even though we never announced we're doing ahead of time, so that's kind of dumb, but we're going to do it this time. So we will post those links both in our Instagram post as well as in our Spotify summary. So let's remember to do that. Let's write
Got
that
you.
down.
Got you.
And we are having our fantastic friend Anthony Rodriguez, longtime listener, first time caller into the show. And he's going to do a fantastic job. I'm really looking forward to it.
Hell yeah. All right.
All right.
Well, we will catch you guys in a week. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year, Trey. And we will see you guys next week. See you.
Happy New Year.